All right. Things are heating up. Things are heating up. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, boys. Happy Friday. Your captain is here. We got a nice weekend of sports. Things are getting good. Things are getting good. All right. Technical difficulties are check. A lot going on in the NFL. First of all, NOOCH neighborhood picks. Like, subscribe. Coming up on 1,000. Coming up on that 1,000. We're ahead in the hours. So thanks to all the people that are with me for coming into the live streams, watching the lives, doing our thing. I appreciate that. Let me share this with a couple people. And then the NFL is getting good. Malik Neighbors is out for the Giants. Malik Neighbors out. That didn't bode well for Wandell. So we got to worry about that. A lot of stuff. Joe Burrow's hot. Joe Burrow's hot, but they're losing. Big surprise that way for me. We were saying how Burrow's got to produce. Well, he's produced. He's the league's leading passer with the rating, but they're losing. Now they're playing the Giants, who just beat the shit out of Seattle. Lamar and Daniels. Lamar and Jaden Daniels. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I got something to say about the Lamar and Daniels too. People got to stop with the Lamar bashing. Oh, let me shut this. Let me share this with a couple of the people that I definitely want to see in here. Get everybody. Get the VIPs in here. Start talking sports. There's a lot. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to go over these lines too. A lot to talk about, boys. All right, let's go. Let's go. Richardson's playing for the Colts. Anthony Richardson's playing this week. I don't know if that's good or bad for the Colts. He's playing. Russell Wilson will probably be the number 2. Whoa. Probably. If anybody picked up Fields in fantasy, you might want to look at that. I think Fields is starting. I know a lot of people that picked him up. In fact, I was just having a nice conversation with somebody. If you picked up, I know somebody who's got Mahomes, and Mahomes is on a bye week this week. And Mahomes, I notice it's like an MVP trend. I want to bring this to your attention. Last year, I had Lamar Jackson in my fantasy team, and he was the MVP of the league. So you would think that I hit on him, but his numbers didn't like blow anybody away. It was more of like how the team was playing and their wins, and he wasn't the fantasy MVP. Let's put it that way. Now, the favorite for the MVP this year is Patrick Mahomes, but he's not the fantasy MVP. He's not killing anybody with his stats. So I just feel like it's tough. Like if you have a guy like Fields, forget about Wilson number 2, like what he was saying, probably forget that shit. Fields is putting up 300. He put up 300 yards passing last week. He rushes. He runs a 4.4. Let's say they win this week, and you have a guy like Fields that you started with Mahomes on his bye week, and Fields is the number 1 going through. Who would you start going forward? I think you got to look at these quarterbacks that get total yards, rushing and passing. That's why I got Jaden Daniels as my quarterback. I started with Anthony Richardson in the draft in the summer, took Jaden Daniels. Everybody was laughing at me for taking another quarterback. I don't know why. And now Daniels is my quarterback. The other league, Tua was my quarterback. He got hurt. Somebody dropped Daniels because they had Dak. See, that's why fantasy, you never know that person's situation. Somebody had a real good team. They had Dak and Daniels. I had Tua and Goff. And all of a sudden, but I love Daniels. All of a sudden, they had a couple injuries, had to make moves on the team. Couldn't keep 2 quarterbacks. Drop Daniels. They're not going to drop Dak. I picked up Daniels. So you just get lucky like that sometimes. Let's get some people hopping in here. I'm going to wait a little bit before I go into the matchups. And fantasy start sits. Who's going to have a better week? Who's going to have a better week? The head-to-head matchup, Lamar or Daniels? Everybody is bashing bashing Lamar Jackson. I disagree with that. I looked up Lamar's 2019 season and Daniel's season right now up to this point. Lamar has, first of all, this year Lamar is ahead of Daniels and he's the number 9 passer as far as yards, and he's got more yards, more touchdowns, everything. Now, then I went back. I took the 2019 season for Lamar, and his numbers were still a little better. He had a few more touchdowns at this point, a couple more rushing yards, a couple more passing yards. The only thing Daniels has is the percentage, the completion percentage. But so yeah, Malik Neighbors is out. What would you do with Mahomes? What would you do with Mahomes for the rest of the year? Do you go for a different quarterback? Certain quarterbacks, it's tough. Like Burrow's on fire. I'm looking at like everybody's bashing Lamar. I feel like everybody who's making their Jaden Daniels point that loves Jaden Daniels, they're using Lamar for some reason. They're bashing Lamar. Oh, he's way better than Lamar. Lamar's the reigning MVP. Reigning. I know he messed up in a couple big games, but who got him there? Who got him there? Like that's where sports is ugly. Like who got him there? They wouldn't even be there. And last time I checked, you don't write the book on a guy when he's 26, 27. John Elway won his first Super Bowl at 37. So we're acting like Lamar can't get it done. Pump the brakes. Lamar's rookie year was still better than Jaden Daniels right now by a little bit, except for completion percentage. That's it. Daniels' completion percentage is outrageous. But now you got to look at different things. I wonder how many yards per. He doesn't have a lot of yards, so it must be short. Let's see. Let's break that down. Passing. All right. Okay, as far as yards, Lamar's 9th, 1206. Daniels 12th, 1135. All right. Daniels 8.7 yards per completion. Jackson 8. All right, so the same. All right. Let's see, average yards per completion. Wow. Jaden Daniels is second in yards per completion. Purdy's first, 8.8. Daniels 8.7. Anthony Richardson 8.5. So I guess you got to balance all the stats. What else do we have? There's a couple good games I want to go on over this week. As far as the betting board, guys, there's one game I like. Derek Carr was ruled out. So the Bucs are at the Saints. The Saints are 3.5-point underdog at home. I don't know about the spread, Tampa Bay laying. You never know, but Spencer Rattler is the quarterback for the Saints. I watched a lot of Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, when he was in 8th grade, was like the best player in the country. Then he went to college and he sat behind. I think it was Jalen Hurts. When Spencer Rattler got to Oklahoma, he didn't start. Then he transferred and he didn't do well. And then he persevered and he got to the NFL. I think he went to South Carolina. And all of a sudden, he's in the NFL. He's a rookie, and now Carr went down, and Spencer Rattler's starting. Spencer Rattler has a lot of Zach Wilson in him. Like big arm, but a lot of mistakes. I like the receivers for the Saints to have big games in that game because you're going to get a lot of deep balls, Olave, Shaheed, and they'll probably be playing from behind. But I like Tampa Bay to beat the Saints. You would have to expect Baker with Godwin and Evans and the team that they got, like that they're going to beat the backup quarterback on the Saints. So I'm looking at that. Baltimore 6.5 at home against Washington. Washington's been hanging with everybody all year. Jacksonville's the London game. Jacksonville's got 2 back-to-back games in London. They're staying in London. They play next week too, or the 20th they play. Yeah, that's next week. I'll tell you what, I don't know about the 44.5 in that game, but I like in a 3-team 10-point teaser, I'll bump the 10 points down. I'll go over 34.5 with Jacksonville and Chicago. Jacksonville's getting Evan Ingram back. Brian Thomas is becoming a number one receiver, like a real one. And Caleb Williams is throwing for 300 yards, and DJ Moore and all those guys. We'll go over as one of the legs in a 3-team 10-point teaser. Washington, man, you wouldn't want to take 16.5 with Washington. They've hung in with everybody. Their quarterback doesn't make mistakes. Oh, Baltimore's tough. I love Baltimore too, though. That's a good game. That's a high spread. There's another high spread I'm going to get to in a minute. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. We said we like Tampa Bay on the road at New Orleans. Cleveland at Philadelphia. That's an ugly game. Cleveland stinks. Deshaun Watson looks like he's got 1 foot out of the league. I never saw him look this bad. He's getting worse and worse and worse. He's got lawsuits. You could tell, like, mentally he's not there anymore. Cleveland's hurting. Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni is 1 step behind Salas. Nick Sirianni's the next coach that's going to get fired. They're fighting in the locker room. There's a lot of shit going on in Philly, so that's a weird game. 9.5. 9.5. Holy smokes. I didn't even look at that spread. I'd never expected it to be 9.5. Why would Philly be 9.5? Hold on for a second. Why would Philadelphia? 9.5? That's a little weird. Wow. It's a little high. All right. Well, I'm going to keep moving. We'll get back to that. The Colts. I got a stat written down on the Colts. The Colts are 2.5-point underdog at Tennessee. The Colts are giving up like 419 yards per game, their defense. That's horrendous. Richardson's back. I like maybe the Titans. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't think he's washed. I think he's going to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are still going to look for a receiver. The Chiefs just keep surprising you. The way they came out against the Saints, oh my God, they haven't looked like that all year. Juju Smith catching passes, Andy Reid. That was like the nicest game I've ever seen, like, of a guy calling plays. The Chiefs, like, that was like a coaching clinic. The way they came out passing, they came out pass. The Saints didn't know what to do. Then the second half, the Saints got ready for it. Run. Kareem Hunt ended up with 20-something carries. Andy Reid could get an entire team on their heels big time. He's one of the best I've ever seen at mixing it up. That guy is brilliant. Brilliant. The Texans are, the Eagles are 9.5 at home against the Browns. But the Texans are only 6.5 at New England. I don't get that. That's a little low. Well, no Nico Collins. I don't know if Mixon's back yet. We got to look for that. Arizona. Here's another one. Arizona. They beat San Fran. They played tough with everybody, but they're 5.5. Arizona's 5.5 underdog to Green Bay. This is like a first look to the weekend. Then Sunday morning we'll see who we're gonna bet. But first look, we're doing. Let's think 3-team teaser. You add 10 points. It's a 5.5-point spread. I love Arizona with 15.5. First of all, Love had a million interceptions last week. Love doesn't look that good this year right now. I'm going by what I see right now. Love, not elite right now. A lot of turnovers. Kyler Murray with Harrison, Connor running good. They just beat the 49ers last week. 5.5-point dog. Right off the bat, I like Arizona. So far. Chargers, Broncos. Denver, I didn't even realize. Here's the next game. I didn't even realize Denver had just won 3 in a row. Denver was 0-2. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Denver. I'm looking at the record. I'm like, 3-2. What? They just won 3 in a row. So that's a tough game. 2 good defenses. I know Denver in fantasy football is a big-time D, and I got the Chargers in 2 out of my 3 leagues. Another good D. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Fantasy-wise, I know a lot of people that dropped Lad McConkey in our league. I almost picked him up last night in one of my leagues, but I held on to the guys I got. But Lad McConkey's slowly becoming Herbert's best target. Steelers at Ravens. That's a weird one. Oh my God. This just has Justin Fields 300 total yards again. He had 300 passing the last one against the Colts. They lost. But Fields, oh man, the way Tomlin coaches and the way that team is, the Raiders, Adams is sitting out until he hits the Jets. Adams is going to be on the Jets, so nothing's happening there. I don't know who I like in that game. I don't like anybody in that game. The over-under's 36.5. Bump that 10 down. We're not going to go over 26. Falcons, 6.5. Falcons are 6.5 at Carolina. Carolina, did they bring Bryce Young back or something? That's another one. Throw the 10 on. Give me 16.5. Atlanta's not blowing anyone out ever. Too many mistakes. Nah, not this year. Detroit. That was the guy on ESPN's pick of the week. He likes Detroit. I never like road favorites, but Lions at Cowboys. The Cowboys are going on a bye next week. That doesn't help them this week. The Lions are coming off a bye. The Lions are a great running team. They could run it coming off a 2 weeks of rest. They might run it 40 times. Dallas is one of the worst running defenses in the league. So I got to say I like the Lions in my bets. I might have to. The Lions are strong. We'll circle them. And then the night game is our Giants. I'm going to have to go to that one, boys. Might have to go to that one. The Giants are 3.5-point underdog versus the Bengals, who've been scoring 35 a week. Look at the Bengals last 3 weeks, 35, 36, 34. That was their 3-point totals. They lost every one but one of them, but the Bengals are scoring in the 30s every week now. I'm afraid of them. I don't know what happened with Seattle's team, but who knows? These teams all stink. When I was a kid, the powerhouse teams, you knew who they were. They came through on Sunday when like the 49ers came through. You're getting beat like 42-2. Whoever they're playing. Roll. When the Patriots in 07 were coming to town, you're getting beat 57-3. Like, you don't see teams like that this year. Not yet. Not yet. Right? Like, there's no dominant teams. The Giants just beat Seattle. The Giants, hey, look at this. Hey, what's up, Mom? Hey, listen to this. If you go back into the season, nobody even realizes this because we didn't know who was who yet. The Giants played Minnesota the best out of everybody. The Giants should have beat Minnesota. So are we one of the best teams in the league? We won at Seattle, and we had Minnesota beat the best team in the league, 5-0. Like, nothing's making sense. Buffalo Jets Monday night. What do we do there? Salas gets fired. Salas, whatever. Salah. He gets fired. The Jets are 2.5-point home dog. Buffalo, I don't know what's going on with Buffalo, but don't we always say that? Dalton Kincaid hasn't done nothing yet this year. Nothing. What's Buffalo's record? Let's see. Buffalo 3-2, but something's off. Like the way they could be better. 2-3 for the Jets. So that's a big game. I don't know. I can't say I don't see the Jets winning, but they need to. Well, we'll see. They fired the offensive coordinator. Hackett got fired. So we'll see. They said they want to come out of the huddle quicker. Hey, Ma, are you still there? You're the person I was talking about in our family league. You have Mahomes that's on a bye, but you picked up Fields. I don't know if you were caught this, but Tomlin said, Russell Wilson will probably be the number 2 on Sunday. What, he might start? You might have to get another quarterback, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Fields is playing great. That would be ridiculous. I think they're just saying that for like publicity, like so they don't hurt Wilson's feelings. Man, those are tough. Those spreads. The Jets are 2.5. Okay, I'm gonna go gut instincts. Who I like here. Gut instinct. Buffalo Jets. I like Buffalo. Gut. When I start thinking about it and I really break it down, maybe it could change. But gut, Buffalo. But don't we all like Buffalo? Gut. How could you like the Jets right now? But doesn't mean I'm not rooting for the Jets. Bengals, Giants. My gut, Bengals. When I saw the last 3 games for the Bengals, 36, 35, 34, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. Burrow looks like he's getting hot. Gut instinct, Detroit, Dallas, Detroit. Gut instinct, Atlanta at Carolina, Carolina for some reason. That's got stinker written all over it. Atlanta, Carolina, stinker. That one's going to ruin people's tickets. Everybody remembers the last time Atlanta played. I sure do. I was in the casino. I had a parlay going. The end result would have been like 3,900. Every leg came in. I was just waiting on Tampa Bay to beat Atlanta. I'm like, all right, wait, Mooney, 95 yards plus in, K-Dot in, Baker in. Everything I kept reading was in. I'm like, oh my God, this ticket's going to hit. And that's when Bucky Irving fumbled in the red zone. And then Kirk brought him down, caught it out of bounds with 1 second, and then Koo came in, field goal, made it to tie it. Then it went to overtime, and Atlanta won in overtime. That's the last time Atlanta played. So everybody's remembering that heroic, but I don't know. I keep thinking about Andy Dalton playing well, Chuba Hubbard, 26 touches in a game, Deontay Johnson. Like, they might be like a little better than the respect they're getting on that line. 6.5. I'll take the 6.5 with Carolina at home against Atlanta. Teams don't play the same on the road. Kirk Cousins is still old as shit. Can't run. Like, maybe they, give me the 6.5. I don't. Here's what I will. Here's how I look at it. Who, when I curse and I say who the fuck is so and so, who the fuck is Atlanta to lay 6.5 on the road? What are they? The 85 Bears? What are they? What are they? The 88 Niners? Nobody covers this year. One team covered. Now teams that are 6 points. I don't even know if the Chiefs were 6 points over the Saints, but teams that were 6 points or more were 0-8 versus the spread covering. The Chiefs covered the other night versus the Saints. That was the first team I could remember that did their job covering. But Atlanta's going to go to Carolina and cover? Probably not. Let's just play the numbers. These are good. These are good games that we could look at. We could do a lot with the Cardinals. Cardinals plus 5.5 at Green Bay. Green Bay is not blowing anybody out with all those turnovers. Harrison, Murray, Connor. Tampa Bay will kick the shit out of the Saints with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. We like that a lot. And I think that London game will knock that 44 down 10 in a 3-team teaser, 10-point go over 34 with Caleb and Trevor coming back on now with the receivers. The pass catchers for Jacksonville are all getting healthy. That game's going to be more good scoring. We might go over anyway. That's the early game Sunday morning. But we'll see. We got Padres Dodgers tonight, boys. Hey, we got a huge fight. I don't know who's fight fans in here, but it's the best boxing match in 20 years this weekend. Big one. I'm gonna have to order this one. Big one. Dimitri Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. It sounds funny. 2 Bs. They're big time. 2 champions, undefeated, undisputed. One guy's 20-0, all knockouts, 100% knockout rate. They don't have a line on the fight? I'm looking for it now. Where's boxing? They got UFC, but they don't have boxing? Well, no way. They got it. Here we go. Oh, they don't have a regular line on this fight? No line on it yet. Not here. A knockdown. They got prop bets. What is the line on B-Vol better be? I'll look it up right now on another site. I want to see who's the favorite. Big fight. I'm betting B-Vol no matter what. I'll tell you why in a second. I'm going to bet B-Vol because he's younger and he's never been staggered. Dimitri Bivol minus 125. Better Beav is plus 110. Better Beav is 20-0 with 20 knockouts, but he's 39 and he got wobbled and dropped in a fight and he's been hurt and he came back and got the knockout. But there's a chink in his armor in the chin. There's a little chink. Hey, T-Rich. Oh, T, how did it go? How was the run? Good? Dimitri Bivol is minus 125. Artur Beterbiev is plus 110. I'm gonna go Bivol. He beat Canelo's ass. I watched that whole fight. Bivol's the guy. He's got like Chinese eyes, but he's Russian. He's got dark hair, slanty eyes, and he's great. He's a distance master. He's distance. He hits you like a lizard. Hits his shoots his tongue out. You don't even know he hits you. So I watched him for years, and he's tremendous. Beterbiev is like a little like a Polish Mike Tyson. I don't know if he's Polish. He's probably Russian. So he knocks everybody out, but he's 39 now. This guy, I'm going to give you the backstory on this fight. The older guy, Beterbiev, he wanted to fight Bivol 5 years ago. He accused Bivol of waiting till he got old. Well, now he accepted it. He's old, but he never got beat yet. So we'll see. It's a big one. It's Saturday night, but I'm going to go with the young guy, and I'm going to hope that. But the way the other guys like saying, how could anybody stand up to that for 12 rounds? Well, the last guy that fought him knocked him on his ass. So that sounds good, but he's already been dropped. So I don't feel the same way. Once the only thing that can't come back in fighting is your chin. Your muscles could come back. You could train, but once the chin, you start going to sleep. I've never seen anybody start getting knocked out and come back and go through a war for 3 more years. Hey, 3 more years of wars. Oh, hey, my chin just got better. No, never happened in the history of humans. There's no way to get the chin sturdy again. That's why I don't even want to take no more shots. When I do my combat sports training shit, all mitts, fucking around, excuse my language, fooling around, light sparring, like shadow, like reflex and stuff, but you don't want to take shots to the head. Not smart. I had a couple concussions of the day, definitely. That's why I'm surprised. Malik Neighbors is staying out. You gotta be careful here. I don't. Where is this kid? I'm putting things together like a detective. He gets to New Jersey. He's making it rain. He's fucking around the strip clubs. All right, whatever. He's a young guy. Now he gets a concussion on a Thursday. Has 10 days off. Doesn't play the next day. All right, okay. It's a concussion. We got to be careful. Now another 7 days goes, and they held him out again. So now, listen, that's where you need a guy like me in the organization. Not too old, not too young, but knows, been around. Listen, I've had about 5-6 concussions in my life. I'm thinking about the worst ones I ever had. One that comes to mind happened at the end of a game. Dre kept coming in with the play, and it was 2 minutes left. We had the ball Saturday afternoon against Ridgewood. We're winning. They're calling waggle the NOOCH's passing play, but they're sending the receiver in because the receiver will come in with the play. He's saying waggle, keep it, NOOCH, keep it to keep the clock going. So all right. So we were doing that up all the way up the field. NOOCH for 6, NOOCH for 13. So now there's a minute left in the game. So if I'm ready to hand it, most of the time now, all right, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Okay, let's get the ball back to the horses. All right, NOOCH is a little sore. Let's get out of this thing clean. Now they're waggle, keep. I'm oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So, because now they know I'm keeping it. And the defense is getting like more on me each one. So now I fake it to the back, and when I turn, like I had to like hit the jets to get around, and now I get around the outside, and all of a sudden there was a linebacker. He looked like, you ever see the Van Damme movie Bloodsport? Like the Chinese guy at the end, the big guy that he's gonna fight. That's how this linebacker was. So when I got to like 7 to 10 yards like into the first down, I hit the slide and I slid like a baseball slide, and he flew over because he was trying to kill me. But his knee hit me in the head, right? And I had a concussion. But nobody knew. So I was like, whoa. So I got up, like I was on my knees for a second, and I went to get up, and my two running backs, Dre and Howard, like, Nooch, get up. I'm like, oh shit. So we got to the huddle, and Dre brought the play in, and I didn't know the play. And it was seriously, I didn't know the play. I had a concussion. Like my bell was rung. It probably wasn't smart to stay in, but it was like 1997. So it was dangerous, but I had a concussion. So I finished the last couple plays. Thank God I didn't have to keep it anymore. Clock runs out, we win. But I remember on the bus ride, I on the bus ride home, I was really out of it. I felt like I was in a box, and everything else was outside of it. Like I was in a box in my seat, but the people, it was like in another realm of a dimension. Like I didn't feel right. And then when I got home, I was a little sick that night. And then just my luck, Clifton, we played on Friday nights or road games Saturday at another team's place. That week, we had a short turnaround Thursday night at Don Bosco Prep, nationally ranked team. So I played that Thursday night. I did the turnaround off the concussion. Nobody even asked me how I was. I was at practice on Tuesday, but like I don't know if it was good or not. But as far as like cognitive and stuff, if Malik Neighbors can't play right now, 17 days after getting a concussion, then maybe he should sit the fuck out this season. That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. 17 days for getting your bell rung? That's crazy. That's crazy. Another one another one I got. My pride kicked in. I'm playing in a summer pro basketball league. I'm 18 years old. I just graduated high school. My varsity coach was a pro in Europe, and he played like against the dream team in Barcelona in the Olympics. So he calls me a couple weeks after I graduated, because I went to college my freshman year to play basketball at Ramapo. So I was training for basketball anyway. So my coach, he has a Euro team in Tim Thomas's Players Tournament in Paterson, New Jersey, summer pro. Vince Carter was on his team, Tim Thomas's team. Vince Carter, like Rip Hamilton, Kobe, all those AAU guys that were teammates came and showed love in Paterson. So I didn't know that these guys were going to be there. Like my coach just called me. He's like, Johnny. He's like, I was like, hey, what's up, coach? He's like, you want to come off the bench? We're playing in a league. It's called the Players. I'm like, yeah, okay. So he's like, oh, you got to be ready. There's some good players in here. And when I got to the gym, Vince Carter was warming up and shit. I played against all those guys. It was crazy. But one time, one of them games, a long rebound came. And those games with 7-footers, and like the speed, those fucking games are like Floyd Mayweather fights. If you've never played in a high-level basketball game, it's one of the best thrills, like highs I've ever had. Like those games are crazy. And the games go fast. It's like you got to dip, dodge, go. So one time a long rebound came, and I found myself as the only guy that was about to get back. So, I played basketball in high school, but I was never on a court with guys that were like 6'10", 270, everybody. So they're coming down, and I'm back, and I got fast feet. So here he comes, and here I am. So I just stopped. But he didn't. He fucking ran me over. But he didn't get anywhere either. He fell. I think he was just a scumbag, and he tried to fuck me up. And I'll tell you what, I hit my head a little bit, and I had a little bit of a concussion that day. But I wasn't letting anybody know that one. But I had like a little something in the head that day. But it wasn't like the football game. But those were two that I know. But I never heard of those 17 days. Malik Neighbors, 17. Now that hurts me for Wandell. Fantasy managers, if you do weekly fantasy, I need to do a weekly fantasy this week. I feel like I could be like the greatest pick weekly fantasy guy this week. I'm hot on week to week guys. I could tell you a guy worth 1 pesos that will give you 2 tutties. T Rich, set it up. Set it up, buddy. I'll cash app you. Let's keep it simple. We'll be partners this week on a weekly fantasy. We can do it. Bucks defense, Spencer Rattler, turnover machine probably. He's got a little Zach Wilson in him. He was a bust. Now he's back. The reason why he's back, he keeps coming back, is because he can throw a football like 80 yards. But the reason why he's been a bust and all this shit is because he screws up all the time when other guys are performing. So he's here. He's got a big arm. He's going to be playing from behind. Maybe Bucks defense. Shaheed Olave is going to have a game. Olave was quiet because Andy Reid took him out. Thank God the Chiefs aren't playing this week. I would say let's not bet whoever. Let's make a mental note. T. Rich told me this, guys. Whoever the Chiefs play, we cannot bet the other team's number one receiver. The Chiefs take out everyone's number one receiver, so we gotta remember that. I can't believe that there's no regular line on the FanDuel on the beater, Bev. Colorado's back in business. I wonder. I'm curious. I'm gonna watch. We got good sports on this week. The Yankees and the Mets are 1 round away from the Subway Series, guys. I can't believe that this is gonna happen again. This happened in 2000. I was 20 years old, and we were like, "Yo!" When I was a little kid, like Little League, we were like, do you think the Mets and Yankees will ever play in the World Series one day? We were like, oh, that would be our dream. Like, that was our dream, and it came true when we were 20. Like, the Mets and Yankees to play in the World Series is fucking crazy. Like, because in my father's day, you had the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Yankees and that shit, but not the Mets and Yankees ever. Mets and Yankees, only one was like my childhood, like, wish, and then it happened. That's 24 years ago. I didn't think that even. I don't think either one of those teams had a chance to get to the World Series this year. I wonder if it's going to be Heartbreak Hotel. Neither. It'll be like Cleveland Dodgers. Like the teams that we're not expecting, it's going to be like Dodgers, Indians. Like right now, they got the Yankees as favorite to win the whole thing on FanDuel. Hey, what's up, T-Rich? Yo, I've watched the Yankees all year. Last night gave me confidence with Cole, the way he pitched, going deep, throwing gas, getting guys. But the Yankees stunk a lot this year. Stanton's a liability on the bases. The kid's closing nice now. The kid, I forget his name, the closer. I like him now. But I feel like I'm watching the Padres. I used to like the Padres, but I switched. I went with the Dodgers in that closing game. I'm Ohtani, clutch, doesn't get nervous. Mookie Betts, clutch. These are like mental champions. Like Mookie Betts is 5'9". He can do everything. He can dunk a basketball. He bowls a 300. He could Mookie Betts could do anything. He's playing tonight for the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani. I don't have to even speak on him. He's playing tonight. Freddie Freeman, love him. I don't know. I love the Padres. I love what they did this year, but I feel like I might have to go with the Dodgers. Tomorrow, Detroit, the best pitcher in Major League Baseball, guys. If you don't know it, he pitches on Detroit. He's the best pitcher in the Major League, Skubal. I don't know where he's from. I've never seen a white guy named Tyreek, but that's him, Tyreek Skubal. Yeah, and you know what? Here's what I don't understand, guys. We're gonna get on the subject a little bit. The Dodgers just took the best pitcher. Detroit's ace in the beginning of the year was Flaherty, and Skubal was thought of as the number 2. Detroit traded Flaherty to the Dodgers. They sold. They gave up on their season, and then they went on fire. Do you guys know this? Detroit was the worst team in the major leagues this year. If Detroit wins the World Series this year, it might be the greatest one ever. And the number 2 pitcher became the best pitcher in the majors. He's going to win the Cy Young. He's pitching tomorrow against Cleveland in the deciding game. So When's the luck going to run out? They're on the road at Cleveland. The luck's got to run out soon. And I'll tell you what, Cody, if you're looking at this, don't break my fucking balls anymore. That's how shit goes south. I call you. I tell you, get your line up there. We're dealing with a hurricane down here. Oh, Jesus Christ. I knew the hurricane was over. First of all the guys that were in Hurricane Milton, I'm glad you guys were okay. I was talking to Mel all the time. Ask him. I told him, I said, Mel, I called him the night before. I was giving him like a real life, like friend, like don't get lax, Mel. Get the tires off the cars in case you need to float. Like I was thinking introspectively, like, what if it was me? If it was me, tires would be off the cars because if I have to float, I need tires. And maybe put the old Clifton football helmet on, chin strap it up, because that's the only other thing I was thinking about. If you could float, you don't want to hit your head if the stream is going. But other than that, Cody, we're dealing with a hurricane. Cody, you're dealing with a hurricane? Don't fuck around, Cody. Don't break my balls. I wouldn't say it. We're not stupid. Come on. Common sense. You got the phone. Just put it in. What? I'm gonna cancel my fucking league because it was a rainstorm? Come on, Cody. Everybody's okay. Start your roster. And I haven't even bothered you yet because I got a special thing with you. You breaking my balls? I haven't even bothered you yet. Moving on. Hey, Kyler and Daniels, best two quarterbacks under pressure. Those are my two quarterbacks. This is going to be the best time to ever have Kyler Murray. If you ever have Kyler Murray in his whole career, it's these next 3 seasons, this year and the next 2, with Harrison. And I just like the way they're going with McBride, with Wilson. They're forming another receiver. Why are the Yankees favorite to win the World Series? That's crazy. The Dodgers at plus 350 are a steal, and the Padres. To be honest with you, I have a feeling the Dodgers are going to win it, guys. Do you know this? Do you know the tricks that they got up their sleeve? Oh man, T-Rich, what's your fantasy team? It's all about receivers for you. If Cup comes back, you'll be good. I feel like with Ohtani, Betts, all those guys, tonight is a big game, but the Dodgers won it in 2020 and like the strike season, not the strike, the pandemic season. T-Rich, let's see your team. I'm playing T-Rich. I'll tell you what, we got a good game. T-Rich, your first 2 guys in our matchup, I've never seen 2 guys have a better outcome and lower points. Like, I just got lucky. Jordan Mason, 9 carries, 73 yards. 1 catch, 9 yards, 9.2. That's like the luckiest I could ever get with all that production, only 9.2. Jordan Mason was running all over the field yesterday. Holy shit. And Metcalf. I saw Metcalf doing shit. 3 catches, 11 targets. That's bad. Gino was off. Gino looked all fucked up before the game. He needed a haircut. He was all fucked up. Metcalf, 3 catches, 48 yards, 7. I got lucky, T-Rich. I'll tell you what, you're in trouble. Hey, how come Jalen Hurts gets the pass and people are – has Jalen Hurts ever been the MVP? No. He played a good game on the Super Bowl. Like, no. Jalen Hurts already is, like, playing okay. He's already, like – Jalen Hurts, since that day in the Super Bowl, he leads the NFL in turnovers. Do you know that? Jalen Hurts leads the NFL, the whole league, in turnovers since that Super Bowl game. But he gets the pass forever. But Lamar didn't even do anything wrong. He's the fucking MVP. But this year they're hitting him. They're hitting him with rocks. Jaden Daniels comes in, does good. They're blasting Lamar. They're like, oh, he's better than Lamar. Did you look up their numbers? Lamar's got more everything than him right now. Jaden Daniels, he's got great percentage, yes. But his numbers are not even more impressive than Lamar's right now. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Sports is ugly. It's like, what have you done for me lately? T-Rich, Metcalf has been playing over his head. Metcalf has been your MVP, I think. See, last night was a quiet game for him. You're lucky Mason came on. Poor McCaffrey. He's like Uncle Nooch at like 42 years old with the bad Achilles. I had Achilles tendonitis for a whole summer. I was running on that field with like hot Achilles. I'm like, oh, I gotta shut it. It was terrible. I was cursing out that field. I was cursing that fucking turf. I don't know what it was from, but it was bad. But I feel bad for McCaffrey. He's a kid. But you know what? Why is McCaffrey's neck coming out farther than his head? Hey, Christian, you're not 230. You know, he's probably on so much steroids. McCaffrey, he's selling out. Like, they're going to the dark side. When I played in college, I was the only guy not on that shit. They're like, hey, Nooch, when do you come to the dark side? Like they made it sound like it was okay. Like, we're on the dark side. Hey, you're on steroids, jerk off. But I guess McCaffrey's in the NFL. When he was a young player in the NFL, I saw him get blown up on a couple blitzes back in the day when he was like a rookie. So I don't know, man. I don't know what it really is like when and all your opponents are cheating. Like, you think those guys for Seattle last year with their shirts off? Like, you think DK Metcalf? You ever see a picture of DK Metcalf before he allegedly went on? You know, the same shit his father got caught on already. DK Metcalf's father got popped for PEDs when he was a player, and he was a lineman. Like, DK Metcalf was like, he looked like he was about $175 one year, and then he was DK Metcalf the next year. It was crazy. These guys all like allegedly take crazy shit. So I don't know. You see Bosa? Oh man. Tyreek Hill even looks weird to me. Tyreek Hill, no neck syndrome. No neck. Hey, Tyreek, is that a fade or your neck fell off? Tyreek. Where's Ricky Fodor? Where's Ricky where's out in Texas tonight? Where's Ricky? Where's my boy Ricky? Where's Big O? Big O, baseball. Big O's a Mets fan. Big O's a Mets fan. Hey, oh shit, the Mets already beat. Did your brother go to any games with Donnie B? Did they go? Tyler, did Chris go to any baseball games? Hey, you want to hear the ultimate World Series NOOCH true Hollywood story, Tyler? Did you ever hear this? Did I ever tell you my night at the 2001 World Series after 9/11? I had an adventure in Yankee Stadium. President Bush threw out the first ball. The National Guard was there. I got lost in the tunnel. 2001. It's like it's the afternoon. It's like a month after 9/11. You know, I'm 21. I'm 22 now. I'm 22. My birthday had just passed. It's the World Series. I'm watching it like everybody else. Yankees, Diamondbacks. The Yankees were on a fucking dynasty run. The Yankees won 96, 98, 99, 2000 against the Mets Subway Series. Now it's 2001, the year after the Subway Series. The NOOCH. I'm 21 now. And it's the afternoon, and I forgot what game it was, 1 or 2 or 3. But there's still a Yankee Stadium, obviously. And my cousin Brian calls me from my mom's side. Brian Chop, or they say Sop on my Polish side. Brian Chop. So cousin Brian calls me, and he's like, hey, Johnny. He's like, I got 2 tickets to the game tonight. I'm like, what game? He's like, the World Series. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you want to go? He's like, but we got to leave now. He's like, there's major security outside of Yankee Stadium. They say it's going to take 2 to 3 hours just to get in once we get online because of the fear of terrorists. And it was a very tense time in our country, and like we had to like go many hours early and wait outside. So like we were so excited to go. So Roger Clemens pitched that night. Bobby Witt Jr., the star for the Royals, his father was a pitcher for the Diamondbacks in that series. That's the series the Yankees ultimately lost in Game 7 on the blooper. But that game that I was at, we get to Yankee Stadium. It's like the game started at like 7:30. We get to Yankee Stadium like 4 o'clock. We get in like 7:15. We waited like 3 hours, metal detectors, dogs. It was a really tough time in the country, and like it was like somber and stuff. So we get to our seats. We're like first base, upper deck foul. Like if you were up at bat, a righty, and you fouled it high up over first into the bleachers, that's where I was. So we get there, we get to our seats, and all of a sudden, the chopper starts coming. The chopper comes. It's President Bush. It's the president of the United States. President Bush gets down on the field, and he gets out. He's like, he starts looking around, and he fired a strike. He fired it like a G. He fired a strike right. The catcher didn't even move his glove, and I was like, holy shit. And then I'll never forget that. President Bush fired a strike, and then he bounced. He got in the chopper and bounced, and then the game started. Yankees won that game, I think, the one that I was at. They actually won that night. And then the other thing I remember is I was freezing my balls off. I was freezing so bad that I signed up for a credit card that I didn't need just for a Scully, and I still got the Scully. I got it. I got it right now. Yeah, it says Yankees Diamondbacks 2001 World Series. I don't wear it, but I still got it. Yeah, so I was so cold up there in foul right. My cousin Brian. So I'm like, Brian. So he went first, never came back. He couldn't find his way back. The stadium was so packed. I'm like, this fucking guy, I'm freezing. I can't wait. So I was like, all right, we're on our own. I left. I couldn't wait. So I found the credit card place. I signed. They gave me my Scully. I never used the credit card, but that was that. So I got my Scully, and I went to the World Series. I did go to one World Series game. But if the Yankees, I don't expect the Yankees to get to the World Series, but we're one round away. But I'm not getting my hopes up. They pissed me off all year. We didn't have a closer, but that might be fixed. We'll see. We'll see. I'm starting to get a little bit of hope, but we'll see. I want to see I'm going to make a test for you guys, all you Johnny-come-latelys here. Who's going to have the bigger fantasy day, Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels? Call it. That's what I want to know. Bigger fantasy day, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. And who we taking on the weekly fantasy? Who we taking on weekly? Who we taking on weekly fantasy this week? When we get to the live stream Sunday morning, I want to go strategy for that day. Guys that are cheap that we know are going to do well. Like guys that we look for on ladders and bets. Like weekly fantasy lineup, much different than your team for the year. So let me see. Let me take a little peek on who we would take. Okay, here's an example. The first game, 9:30 in the morning, Jacksonville. They're coming on. Caleb Williams throws for 1,000,000 yards. That game I could see scoring on the weekly fantasy. Brian Thomas. Now, Brian Thomas will be up there. There's guys. Evan Ingram's back. Let's see. Nico Collins is out. Let's see what those receivers are for the Texans. Diggs and Dell. We gotta find soft spots in the odds by Sunday morning, the 2-hour live stream. We gotta find soft spots in the odds. I expect you guys to be looking, typing. Lamar? I hope not. Yeah, you want Lamar. You want Lamar to do better for our matchup purpose. Yeah, for some reason, the MVP favorites are not the best fantasy guys. I had the MVP last year. I had Lamar. He didn't do shit for me, really, for my fantasy team. And now this year's MVP favorite is Mahomes, and my mother's got him in the fantasy league. He hasn't done much for her. It's weird. The MVP is not the fantasy MVP. Where's the receivers? Here we go. Receiving yards. Tank Dell, 56.5. Stephon Diggs, 61.5. Since when has Stephon Diggs been a 61.5 guy? Now Tank Dell's out. We'll go right back to Diggs. Diggs looks like he's having a prime year. Diggs looks fucking great, doesn't he? I think CJ Stroud's a better passer than Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen can do more on a whole, but I think Stroud's a better passer. I think we might see the best Stephon Diggs this year and next year for however long his window of prime is. Kelsey's window of prime went to last year. He looked good in last week. Like he might be back. Maybe Kelsey. I want to DM Kelsey. Hey, did the fat face come with the haircut and mustache? He looks like he's about 15 pounds heavier, Kelsey. But he looked great. Last week was the first week he produced. So let's see if Travis Kelsey gets back now. Juju Smith-Schuster, another guy, finally went to Weight Watchers. The last 3 seasons, I'm like, Jesus Christ, Juju needs yoga or something. He looks stiff, no dexterity. Now the other day, he's catching passes, looking like he's about $180. He lost the weight. He looks beautiful. Juju Smith is about like a little thicker than all the other receivers that play that position in the NFL. Juju Smith-Schuster is a blocking machine. Like he's known as one of the best blockers in the league. He'll fuck you up. Like he's thick. He doesn't need to be heavy. Juju needs to stay thin. Now he looks like he's in tremendous shape. And if Andy Reid can't get Juju Smith-Schuster looking like that year he was with Antonio Brown, I remember watching Schuster and Brown was on the field with him every game. And Juju Smith-Schuster was having better games than Brown that last year that they were together. So look for that too. I don't know. Weekly fantasy, we might want to go right back to Juju. But we got a lot of stuff. When I come in Sunday morning, guys, we're going to go the games, FanDuel, fantasy, but weekly fantasy. I keep forgetting about that. We could do the same guys. We could go partners. I could cash app UT Rich or something. We could do a couple good ones. You let me know who's worth what, and we get it going. But I'm swishing this thing at the 1 hour, so I just want to let you guys know that. That's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice like that. Like if talking was like rapping, be the nicest MC. Oh man, yeah, we got some good stuff this weekend. We got nice games. We're looking at Baker. We're looking at so the gist of everything. We're looking at points in the points in the Jacksonville Bears game, the 9 a.m. London game. We like points. We put 10 down over 34 for sure. I like Stephon Diggs in receiving. You know what? I don't know. I'm not going to say I like another 10 on the 5.5 Arizona's getting. Green Bay, they're not blowing everybody out. Until I start seeing blowouts, I'm going to keep adding points onto the spreads that are too high. Every game looks like anybody could win. Underdogs are winning outright. Beware of the dog. Where's my son? Look. That's how I roll. Beware of the dog. Dog on premises. Mel, the Jets stink. The Jets stink, Mel. What are you guys going to do? You know what? You guys better get DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not DeAndre Hopkins. You better get Devontae Adams fast because Josh Allen's coming to town with his big moose self. The big white moose is coming to town, and he's going to run all over you, pass all over you. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be pissed off, looking snarky. Now he didn't do it. Oh, no, I didn't do it. I'm pissed. Yeah, okay, Aaron. Yeah. You skipped training camp, Aaron. You came in with a black cat on your t-shirt. Remember when Aaron came in with the black cat t-shirt? Like, like they were making a big joke. He got it in Egypt. Like, when was he in Egypt? Oh, during their fucking OTAs. Excuse my language, but come on. He skipped OTAs. He told the coach to go farg himself after a touchdown pass. The coach was like, hey, Aaron, up. Hey, Mel, if me and you did something on the basketball court, we're coaching, you're like, yo, Nooch, and I went, what would you think of me as a person? I wouldn't be me, right? I'd be a jerk off. Like, what is up with Aaron Rodgers? He got that poor guy fired. I don't care. I don't believe him. I don't believe him at all. Not at all. Oh, man. Hey, guess who the number one quarterback in the league is? Yards per rush. What quarterback has the most yards per rush? Kyler Murray. This is the year to have Kyler. He's my backup, but I might bring him back in. I got Jaden Daniels right now because it's Jaden Daniels' time, and I want the credit. When they be like, hey, who had him this year? I did. Me. Nooch. I had him. So we got everything now. Oh, I went over the hour. I told you I'm going out. Hand on the buzzer. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday morning.